Good morning, squad. I am going to get the live up on my laptop so I can see your comments come through. Hello, happy Wednesday. Let me know if you're there. Happy birthday to Juliet today. I hope you're having a lovely day. I know you said you're going to be going out for a meal. Have a wonderful meal. Okay. I should pop up, shouldn't I? Just like automatic. Let me know when you're there. There's a slight time delay. Here we are. There I am. Now, if you hear any music in the background, the builders are downstairs. So if you hear any random noises, that is what's going on because me and Will are still living between this room and the bedroom. And it's a little bit clustered. It's a little bit cramped. So if you hear any random noises, that's what that is. It's the builders downstairs. How are you all? Hey, Stephanie. Oh, I hope the little one's okay. I hope you're okay. I know you said you've been up through the night. One of those things. There's loads of little sickness bugs going around. But this is why we need to look after our health and fitness. Isn't it, everybody? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And actually, I just want to say as well that I'm super impressed with the 6-weekers who are coming to the end of their 6 weeks. They're about to graduate and join the inner circle. And I'm also super impressed with everyone who is currently on the 4-week fast track. The positive vibes in that group and the motivation and accountability that is going down is just phenomenal. It is actually next level. And if you're not in either of those, I would say the best thing you can do at this time is just keep putting your workouts in your journal and keep showing up for you, particularly as it's getting colder, as the nights are getting darker and you don't feel like it. We have to look after our health and fitness. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity to look after your health and fitness. Like, if you don't have your health, what do you have? How can you show up for your work? How can you show up for your family? How can you expect to live good quality life in the long term if you don't show up for your health and fitness? And it doesn't need to be massive. It can be like little nuggets. Like, if you're really busy going up towards Christmas, like just little 10-minute nuggets here and there is great. The key is keep showing up for you. We can all make, no matter what happens, I don't care, we can all make 10 minutes in the day, right? Where we can just be like, okay, don't feel like it, but I'm going to get a quick workout in. It's learning how to prioritize that into what you've currently got going on. That's the hard bit, isn't it? But just make sure you keep showing up for you. Right, questions. Oh, Steph, shattered but mum life. Mum life. But you wouldn't change it, would you? No, you wouldn't change it. Now, let's get the questions up. Also, workout this morning was great. I'm going to be uploading that to on demand as soon as. So if you want a quick aerobics blast, highly recommend. It was good fun, apart from the last track, which wasn't quite what I was expecting. But that's kind of funny, really. Yeah. You'll see what I mean. But it's a great workout, so definitely get yourself on it. Now, question number 1. Is it better for your body to do yoga pre or post run? Now, ideally, you'd do it before and after. But I realise that not everybody has that luxury of time to do it before and after. Maybe you don't really want to. So it depends on your goals here, and it depends on how your body's feeling. Doing yoga pre-run can be a really nice way to mobilize your muscles, to mobilize your body and your joints to get you ready for the run. So if you wake up in the morning and you feel really stiff, actually doing a little bit of yoga can then really help you on your run, and it can also help to activate the muscles that you're going to be using. And it can also just help to start regulate the breath as well. Just have that calming breath so you can go into your run feeling focused. If you do it post-run, it can be a really good way to cool down. It can be a really good way to release any stiffness in your muscles or any kind of build up in stiffness that you've built up. You know what I mean? It can be a really good way to release your muscles afterwards. And also, doing a run and something that's high intensity can increase your inner stress levels, like your high alertness. So it can be a nice way to kind of bring things down again. So it depends on you. It can be a nice way to prevent injury that way as well. If your muscles are super tight after a run, releasing them can help to prevent injury. But something's always better than nothing. And actually, as long as you're making sure it's in your week wherever you can make it, and it might be on a rest day, for example, you're still going to be helping to release your muscles. So it doesn't strictly have to be before or after. It could be on a different day as well, but depends on what your goals are. So based on that information there, decide what works better for you. And some days it might be different. Like if you've had a really tough workout, you've done a stronger, and then your plan is to go on a run, actually you might want 10 minutes of a bit of yoga just to release your muscles and encourage a little bit of blood flow to the area to help release them off. But that's what I would say. So ideally you'd do both, but I think you need to see how your body's feeling and what your current goals are. Question number 2. Oh, Sam's in, Veronica's in, PJ's in. Hello. Welcome. Question number 2. Oh, Steffi just put, will do it later. Perfect. I'm not feeling too hot after a workout I did on Sunday. I went to a ballet bum session, but enjoy spa is epic, but wow, do I ache. I wondered if it was using hot therapy like a sauna after a workout that has made me ache more. It really depends. So everyone is going to have a bit of an individual response to heat therapy. So there's pros and cons for it. Like it could be the fact that actually you're a bit dehydrated, and actually dehydration does not help the muscles recover at all. So if you were already feeling quite dehydrated, then you went and did the heat therapy and dehydrated your body further, it's going to prevent your muscles from properly recovering. So therefore you may ache more or for longer days. So that's that. Also, if you've got a bit of inflammation, it can actually increase it. But on the flip side of that, heat therapy is meant to encourage a bit of blood flow to the area. It is meant to help you relax. The research is evolving in this area at the moment, but it kind of boils down to the fact that it depends. It's like an individual response, but it will also depend on you and the day. Like, have you got any inflammation at the moment? Are you really dehydrated at the moment? How long were you doing it for? All of these different things to take into consideration. So it might be worth just testing it out and almost keeping a bit of a track on how you respond and how your body responds, and maybe keeping a track of, what water did you have that day? All of those different types of things. But the best thing you can do if you're feeling really achy is to make sure you stay hydrated, have enough protein to help your body recover, have rest as well. If you've done a stronger workout and you find that, oh my gosh, my legs feel like they are going to fall off, don't do a stronger workout the following day. Do something else. Maybe do a power walking, or maybe do a Pilates or a yoga, something that's going to help promote blood flow to the area, which will help you recover as well. So, or just having a bit of a rest day and going on a gentle walk. It's better to do something than rather, a lot of people think rest day means sitting on the sofa all day. It's actually more effective just to do something really gentle, like some really light yoga or a light walk, something along those lines. But that's the best thing you can do. Next question. Question 3. I'd love to know your tips on working out during your period and how to combat the binge snacking when you're due on. I'm a criminal for it. Now, it's normal, it's common. And what is great about what you just said is that it's going to happen. So you know in your mind already what you're going to feel like. So you can plan ahead for that time. So your menstruation is going to be the first day of your, it's like day 1 to 5. So some people, or day 1 to 7, some people may be on their period for 3 days, some people may be on their period for 5 days, but of your cycle, it's about, day 1 to 5 or 7. Now, if you know that you are going to be binge eating or snacking, I don't like using the term binge eating because that's something different. Like if you do struggle with binge eating, you do need to go and speak to a medical professional. But let's call it overeating, okay? So let's say, or cravings. We have cravings, or we're going to be overeating on certain things in this time. Now, you could go cold turkey and just not buy them in, and then you can't have them. That is one option. And some people find that is the best thing because it's not in the house and they can't have it. Other people find that out of sight, out of mind. So if you've got those snacks in, get them out the way. They're not on your desk. They're not on the kitchen side. They're not at the front of the cupboard. They're away. You've got to get like some steps out, and they're at the back, and they're in a container, which is in a container. Don't make that temptation so easy. Like, let's just make it a little bit more difficult for ourselves. So there's 2 really short hacks already. And another thing is, I'd be questioning what's going on during this time. Like, is it just literally a hormonal thing? And if it is, you've got a choice. You can choose to act on that or not. And you have to remember that you have the power to choose. The only person that is putting food into your mouth is you. The power is quite literally in your hands. So when you're in that position and you feel like you are just going to go over the top with certain snacks or whatever, because it's your time of month and you're craving that and you really want it, and what can I do? Just take a little moment and be like, well, what can I do? Like, I can lean into that and do that. And if I do that, then how will I feel? I'll probably feel a bit annoyed at myself. Maybe I'm going to have a sugar rush. Maybe I'm going to have a crash. Maybe I'm going to beat myself up a little bit about it. Or I can let it ride over me like a wave. Just take a seat, grit my teeth for a moment. Or go make a cup of tea, or go have a shower, or go unload the dishwasher, do something else, and come back knowing that I made a choice to not do that. And chances are as well, if you leave a little bit of time, that craving will go down. And the more you practice that, as in not leaning into the craving, the easier it gets. So let it wash over you like a wave, because you're kind of proving to yourself that you can do it. So you're providing that evidence for yourself that you don't have to lean into that craving. So it's just about taking that little moment to remind yourself that you are in control. So that's another thing you can do. But what I'd also be doing is asking myself, am I over restricting in the day? Is this why this is happening? Make sure you're having really balanced, wholesome, full meals, and you're giving your body what it needs, and you are staying super hydrated as well throughout the day. So little sips throughout the day. In terms of the working out during your period, that depends on how you feel. So different parts of your cycle, you might feel different. So you just need to see how you feel. If you are feeling really bloated, or if you're feeling really tired and you're just not feeling great, like really, really low on energy, well then just think, okay, well, I'm not going to do the HIIT class today, or I am not going to do the combat today. I'm going to do a yoga, or I'm going to do something low impact, or I'm going to do like a nice yoga twist just to help me with that bloated feeling, whatever it might be. Really tune into how you're feeling. There's no specific way that you need to adapt to train around your cycle until you need to, as in, how are you feeling? How are your energy levels feeling? So that really, really depends. But it is okay if for those 3 to 5 days, or however long it normally lasts for you, it is okay to take a little bit of a step back and think, I'm just going to reduce my intensity, or I'm just going to change my workouts a little bit based on how my body is feeling and how I'm responding in that time. I hope that was useful. By the way, team, I really hope these Q&As are useful. Do let me know. I do really enjoy doing them. And I hope you're getting real good quality, good value out of it as well. I just like helping. How important is exercise for gut health? Oh, okay. Now, there is evolving research about this. And I mean, already, I feel like we kind of know that exercise is good for our gut. If you ever feel really bloated, or you're struggling with your digestion, sometimes one of the best things you can do is move your body, promote that blood flow, maybe some yoga twists, or just something, moving the body, a light session, a walk. It just gets your digestive system going, doesn't it? So I feel like most of us probably already know that just moving the body is good. Obviously, of course, keeping hydrated. And if you struggle with your gut health, 2 more quick things before I continue. Prebiotics, probiotics can be great. And also slow down when you're eating. Chew your food more so the enzymes start to break down the food in your mouth before you're swallowing your food. And try and do it without any distractions. So in the 4-week fast track group at the moment, that's one of the targets. One of the targets is to be mindfully eating and mindfully snacking, as in not in front of a laptop or a computer or a TV or flicking through your phone. Actually, just taking a bit of time to enjoy your food and actually chew it and eat it properly. That can really, really help with digestion and with the gut. But in terms of gut bacteria, exercise has actually been proven to not only increase like the good bacteria, but also like boost your gut bacteria. So more and better quality, essentially. And there's been a few different studies on this, but I read one this morning based on this, and it was Wood and Allen, and they tested, I believe it was 20 men and 12 women, something like that, all between the age of about 30 and 60, and all different weights. And they got them to, on this 6-week exercise program of doing like 30, 60-minute workouts or whatever. And they basically found at the end of the 6 weeks, there's so much more to this research, by the way, but this is what my brain retained the important information. So the important information was, at the end of the 6 weeks experiment, they found that everyone, regardless of their weight and their age and their gender, improved their gut bacteria in terms of quantity and quality. And they tested some people afterwards as well. They tested them later. Some people carried on with that exercise regime. Others didn't and went back to basically being sedentary again and going back to what they were doing before. And it actually reversed for them. So there's literally solid evidence that yes, it does improve the quality and quantity of your gut bacteria and microbiome. So exercise is good. Make sure you keep working out. Joe, welcome. Tony, welcome. Okay, next question. I've heard lots about eating avocados and ginger to help with weight loss. Is there anything behind this, or is it a fad? I was thinking of having avocado on toast. Okay, so if we just take those things individually, like avocados are super healthy, they're very nutrient dense, they are full of monounsaturated fats, which is great for your cholesterol as well. So Charlotte, good morning. Hey. So avocados are really healthy, very, very good source of healthy fats. And when you're eating healthy fats, it can help you with that feeling of fullness, that satiated feeling. One thing we do need to remember about fat is 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories, whereas with protein and carbohydrates, 1 gram of protein or carbohydrates is 4 calories. So it is also calorie dense. Just park that a little bit for a moment. Ginger is great for your digestion. It's also, one thing about ginger, which is why some people say it's good for fat loss, is because it has a thermogenic effect. So when you eat your food, different types of food have a different thermogenic effect. And it is, by the way, really, really small, like it's negligible, but just bear that in mind. It's basically the amount of energy or that heated up feeling. Well, I'm not describing this very well. When you eat your food and when you digest your food, your body uses energy to do that. And that is the thermogenic effect, when your body is literally digesting, and it's that thermogenic, that heat effect that is being produced by your body breaking down your food. So it's saying, how much energy does it take to break down X, and how much energy is my body using to break down Y? There's a thermogenic effect of ginger, but it is literally negligible. Like, there is no point in even really talking about it, but that might be why you've heard about it. So just bear that in mind. So no, the most important thing if you want to lose weight is being in a calorie deficit, and that is that calories out are greater than calories in, and the way you want to do that is through your food. A lot of people think, okay, so that means that I need to exercise every single day and I'm going to make sure I'm burning and burning and burning. It doesn't, well, of course it works like that to an extent, but what you end up being is this hamster on a wheel and get completely burnt out. A lot of people really over-egg the amount of calories that you burn during exercise, and they just end up with niggles, they end up feeling worn out, end up with injuries. It's overtraining. And yes, you need to exercise, but not to burn calories. We need to exercise for our heart health, for our lung health, for our bones, for that muscular tone to feel good, to feel fresh, have that clarity, have that focus, for our emotional well-being to show up for our partner, our kids, our work. That's why we work out. We work out to live good quality life. If you want to lose weight, you want to be focusing mainly on the diet, and you want to be focusing on getting wholesome foods into your diet, lean proteins, whole grains, the majority of the time, as well as having a little bit of what you want, because we want you to enjoy life as well. So a little bit of what you want too, but mainly focus on giving the body, what it really, really needs. And you want to be in a slight calorie deficit. So if you're in a calorie deficit, your body is, your expenditure is higher than what you're taking in. And that would mean that you would lose weight. Now, it doesn't really matter technically how you do that, but just bear in mind, if you're choosing to have foods like avocado, which by the way are very healthy and I would encourage you to have them, just be careful of portion sizes with them. So if you're going to have avocado on toast, don't have avocado on toast because you feel like it's going to be a fat burning property. Have avocado on toast because you enjoy the taste of it and for that source of healthy fats. Do you see where I'm getting at here? So in terms of if you eat avocado and if you have ginger, will you lose weight? It depends. Are you in a calorie deficit, yes or no? The best way you can do that is, one, you could either track your calories, but if you've got a past with disordered eating or not a good relationship with food, wouldn't go down that route. I would do consistency. So I'd be having the same breakfast, lunch and dinner, and maybe swapping out the protein source at dinner time, but keeping that consistency with your diet, and track that for at least 30 days, see what's happening, and if nothing happens, then just reduce your portion sizes by 20% so you know where you're at. That's the best thing you can do. Okay, next question. How do you know when to up your hand weights? Oh, that just really depends. It depends on you. Are you getting to the end of, say you're doing stronger, are you getting to the end of the track and you've got really, really good form and you feel like actually you probably could lift it a bit more? Up your weights. One thing you could do is, if you feel like, I think that's me, Lorna, but I'm not really sure, up your weight. And then if you feel like actually I'm starting to throw my body or I'm not engaging my core properly, put the weight down and reduce it. And that is a good way to build up your strength. Add the weight on, that progressive overload, make sure it's gradual, by the way. So add a little bit of weight on there, try it, and if you feel your form starting to go, put it down, get a lighter weight, continue to build up your strength that way. But hey, you're the only one who will know that. You're the only one who will know how you feel. And also, how do you feel the next day? Are you super, super achy, or do you feel okay? Maybe it's time to challenge yourself. Go for it, just do it. Any tips on doming or coning in the abs area? How much is normal? I definitely feel like my pelvic floor exercises have helped, but as soon as I do any ab exercises or plank, I can see it. Right, okay. So first things first, I would definitely speak to a specialist about this. So I have to say, disclaimer here, I am level 3 pre and postnatal qualified. So I can share my knowledge to an extent, but I wouldn't be able to comment on individual differences in coning, without having seen you. And also I would just go and speak to a postnatal specialist about this if you are concerned. But let me share my knowledge with you, what I can say anyway. So the doning or coning is essentially where we all have this thin sheet of connective tissue between our abs. So if you think of your six pack here, you have connective tissue called your linea albia just there. And during pregnancy, that can stretch, meaning your six pack can almost stretch out to the sides. And when you stretch that connective tissue, it doesn't happen for everyone, but it's super common. It does happen for a lot of women. When that area is stretched, it weakens. So once you've had your baby, if you might notice that you have a bit of abdominal separation here, and it is normal, and usually it does correct itself, but sometimes it might need a little bit of help doing that. And that is what's called doning or coning. It is that the weakness in the linea alba, And when you just imagine doing this, when you're lying on your back, tilt your head up like you're gonna look towards your legs or look down at your abs, and have a look to see if you get this cone shape. It's like a tube that almost sort of sticks out. That is the doning or the coning, essentially. So what you want to avoid, if that is you, for now at least anyway, avoid any exercises that are going to increase the pressure in that area, because that's what it is. It's this intra-abdominal pressure. So you want to avoid any exercises that are going to either increase the pressure in that area or sort of aggravate that area, that central area. And that would be things like doing crunches. It would also be things like really overly stretching it out. So doing massive back bends and things like that, and any twisting sort of motion. So the thing that you want to focus on is engaging your deep core muscles, and that's all we want to do. Engaging your deep core muscles, engaging the core, so we're not relying on this front bit here. So these are things to watch out for. One, your posture. How are you standing? Are you slouching and pushing your belly out at all? If you are, you want to be standing up tall, drawing in, think navel towards spine type thing, and making sure that your hips, ribs, shoulders, all in line. Think of your plumb line. So posture is number one. Number two, be avoiding those exercises like your crunches and then the twisting and the over stretching, and focusing on the deep core, the transverse abdominis. And if you go into on demand and you type in, I'd first have a look at the postnatal, there's a little bit on this, but I would type in transverse because there is a core section. Well, not a core section, there's a few videos all focusing on the transverse abdominis, which is what you want to focus on. Just a couple of exercises as an example would be when you're lying on your back with your knees above your hips, so legs are at like a 90-degree angle, doing toe taps or doing leg slides or leg lifts. They're all examples. Even bridges. Now, yes, I know bridges, we're lifting our hips up, but we're not overextending the spine. We're not overextending that area. Dead bugs is another one. So they're like toe taps where you're using the arms as well. And if you're doing these exercises, notice what you're doing. Is your core still engaged? You know, is your lower back pressing towards the ground so you have that core engaged, or actually is it starting to lift and your tummy starting to push out? And if it is, maybe that's the time when you stop and you think, okay, I'm going to build this up. Just really being aware of you. And when you're standing, say you're holding your baby, how are you standing? Are you pushing your tummy out when you're standing, or are you drawing in, trying to engage your core? And when you're lifting things up, how are you doing that? So these are all things to be thinking about. And if you have any concerns, you're not sure, I would definitely go and speak to a specialist. But there's just a few tips. And I hope that is helpful as well. And also for anyone else who is experiencing this or who has experienced this. And maybe you want to, say what you did here too as well. We're all about sharing here. So I hope that has been very useful, everybody. Let me know in the comments if it has, because this is why I do this. I do this to help you guys. And just to let you know before I go, Black Friday, really limited things left now. So if you want to do a Black Friday deal, the half years, they've gone. And I've got one each of, I think it was one each of the annual and the two-year one as well. So just message me ASAP and we'll get that sorted. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. I will see you online tomorrow morning at either 6:30 or 9:30. Bye everyone, and thanks so much for joining me. I will see you soon.